Welcome to episode 25 of the Hotfix podcast. Today we are talking about why we shouldn't give up on 2020 just yet for gaming.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. And next week we have another guest. Who is it again?
It is going to be Gamerized, which is I shouldn't say upcoming. It's a launched social platform for gamers, streamers, musicians. They have a whole pile of good ideas. So guys, please make sure you tune in next week for that episode. But for now, don't give up on 2020 just yet.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to Hotfix, the weekly podcast that dives into the fascinating world of streaming, gaming, and esports. With your hosts, Brant Vladichuk and Jeremy Kelly.
Dude, it's our silver anniversary.
How nice. I don't know what that means, but welcome to episode number 25 of the Hotfix podcast.
Your silver anniversary is when you've been married for 25 years.
Oh, damn. Wow, that went quick.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm old. Jesus Christ. Try to take off this toque. How old I am. Yeah, guys, as we said, welcome back to episode number 25 of the Hotfix podcast. Today, we wanted to have a conversation about how much news has come up in the last couple weeks surrounding the gaming world and why it's kind of left us a little bit excited in the worst year of our Lord, 2020.
Cheers.
Right? No, but there's been a lot of cool things that have come up over the last couple weeks, and we've kind of thought it would be a neat little conversation just to kind of talk about the things we are very excited about, and maybe if 2020 has been a deep dawning chasm of darkness, that maybe there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel as we come out of this mess.
At least for the last couple months.
At least for the last couple of months, with any luck. So I think first up to bat, being released next week, I think it's the 17th of September, I believe, is when the new GPUs, new NVIDIA GPUs get launched, the 3000 series. And
I want a 3090 so bad.
See, the thing with 3090s is I think, and I mean, that's also legit because you do creative things, like you do video editing and that kind of stuff that would
the 3090 will be so overkill for gaming. No one's doing 128K gaming.
No, well, and that's just it, right? There's absolutely zero reason for anyone that just games or streams to get a 3090 unless you're just swinging it around the room. You're the only reason to get it is because you just got the disposable income to do it, and if you do, then go for it, I suppose. But it's such overkill for what gaming is right now that there's not a pile of reasons to get it. But if you do any kind of design or video or motion
video,
graphic,
4K video editing, it's almost impossible. Even with my 1080 Ti, you can't do 4K video editing.
Right.
So
but yeah,
it'd be nice too.
Be a banger, no doubt. I'm aiming for a 3080. I have the reminder in, and I check basically every day to see if they snuck the pre-orders out yet without telling people, in hopes of grabbing them. I'm assuming they're going to sell out absolutely instantly.
Oh, no doubt.
Right. If they deliver, obviously benchmarks and stuff aren't out yet. I've seen it there are people the influencers. I'm gonna jump out your window if you're even saying the word, but those people have gotten their cards now, so I would assume in the next couple of days you'll start to see videos and benchmarks and all that kind of stuff. By the time this video is actually out, I would assume there'll be benchmarks that are out, but
NVIDIA did their own benchmarking.
Yes, yeah,
and
but
I feel so bad for anybody that bought a 2080 Ti for $1,200-$1,300 and then an equivalent card just drops for $500.
Dude, that. I mean, the 3070 is supposed to be better than the 2080 Ti, which is just
$500.
Mental. Mental. How that's even the thing. But yeah, it feels bad for all the 2080 Ti people out there. And
but I did read an article where it's not as easy as just upgrading your GPU. Other components are going to have to be upgraded, or you're going to get bottlenecks.
Yeah, I've been looking into this. I have like a good streamer friend of mine, shout out Spicy Thunder, has been helping me out with a lot of my tech stuff. basically since I've met him. So thankful to have him in my life. But he's kind of been telling me, because like obviously you get excited, and like I have a 1070 Ti, like mine's like just a 1070. So like my graphics card is hills now, right? Real old, and definitely due for an upgrade. And this was a perfect time, especially with the price drops and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, sick. Like I'll just get a 3080, I'll stick it in, and we're laughing. And he's like, no.
It's never as easy as just sticking it in.
Exactly.
You gotta. There's a little foreplay before that.
There is foreplay with my wallet. But yeah,
isn't that just how foreplay is?
I think so. As from my experiences, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, so we kind of went over just kind of like the gear that I have, and it's like, okay, so definitely going to need to upgrade the CPU. Definitely going to need to upgrade the motherboard, right? So those are like the things that I'm like. Thankfully that when I upgraded a year and a half ago or something like that, I ended up with I have like a strong power supply, so that's good. So the power supply is good. The RAM is fine. That kind of stuff is like, so I don't need to upgrade everything, but motherboard, CPU, and GPU are all going to be a thing. So it's still going to end up being, a $1,200 or $1,300 investment for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe, if not $1,500, right? Canadian,
so the cost of a 2080.
Yeah.
And you get something, because you're doing the 3080.
3080 plus like I'm probably not going to go top of the line motherboard because like money, lol. And I'll get like I'll get like the either it was a 3800 Ryzen or 3800 Ryzens are out now. I think the 4000 series is coming out soon. I might be wrong in that, but either get the current gen or get the new ones when they come out. Obviously, if they're not like ridiculously overpriced, that's kind of the move. So I guess long story short is if you're planning on getting one of the new GPUs, maybe make sure that your motherboard and CPU can even handle it. Not that it won't handle it, because it'll still work, right?
Yeah,
you're not going to get the mad performance that you're expecting.
It's just pointless.
You'd hate to plug it in and be like, why am I getting 10 extra frames? That seems
Or why am I getting 10 less frames?
Yes. Yeah, honestly. Exactly. So yeah, have a look at that kind of stuff. But dude, I'm telling you, man, I think like we may have like this might be like a quantum leap in gaming. Like, if all the promises are true and it turns out to be as good as what they're saying it is, like this isn't just a 1070 or a 2080 to a 1080 to a 2080. Like it's not that.
No, it's brand new architecture.
Like a huge leap. Like this is like a big. I mean, this is like next gen PC.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's quite literally as next gen GPU architecture.
Yeah. So we could end up in this like in a very very interesting world. I was having conversations with people as well where they were saying that like the thought is probably within the next year or so, maybe two, like 1440 is going to be the new 1080.
I'd imagine that. I'd imagine
that might even be it now, to be honest.
I would imagine like 4K is going to be the next standard.
Probably, right?
Like
we have 1080 monitors are going to be like old news, and same, and also and probably same with 144 hertz, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, 144 hertz. 144. Like the 144 1080p monitors might be like kind of segregated to second monitor duty. Like pretty soon. I mean, you could get away with it now, but like just as more of like that's the standard now. We either be 1440, like I said, even 4K. But 4K monitors are still like dumb expensive.
They are, especially for the high refresh rate ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you go for like a 60 hertz 4K monitor, you can get them for pretty good price now.
Yeah, but 60 hertz.
Yeah.
Lol.
Like
I would rather not have a 4K monitor than go back to a 60 hertz monitor.
True.
Right, that difference between 60 to 144 is just like world changing. So I think I would. I don't know. I guess it depends on prices and stuff, doesn't it? But I would think that if we are reaching that next gen of PC gaming, as we just said, that maybe the other upgrades. Like, am I going to get a 3080 with a new motherboard and like a brand spanking new CPU and then use my 1080? It's like I'm going to have to upgrade a monitor too. Like now, because then you're just like you're jerking off into a sock. You know what I mean?
Using that card to just power a 1080 60 monitor.
Exactly.
Sick.
So there's,
but it's on ultra max settings.
It is,
and you have 19 instances of the game running.
That's right. Yeah, if nothing else, it is going to be a lot of other upgrades, and I mean that's just and welcome to PC gaming, I suppose, right? But it is just a huge deal. I'm excited to see what the benchmarks are. I'm excited to see what people end up doing with these games, bro. Like, I mean, I know we talked a couple, like, you know, when we just started talking about next gen consoles and all that kind of thing. How excited we were to see what. Well, initially, I remember how badly I botched what next gen was going to be for consoles. So you were very much like, you know, just very excited about what graphically they're going to end up doing with these next gen consoles. But it'll be now I'm like really excited to see what like PC is going to be in a year and a half.
PC is always going to be one step ahead of consoles.
Of course it is, but that's like, I mean, like you talk with your friends, we're like, well, you know, PC master race, and it's like rah rah rah, but it's like also okay, your $2,500 PC is probably better than my $600 console. Like, I would hope so. It better be. So like, there's definitely a give and take with all that kind of stuff, right? But you know, if Cyberpunk is going to end up being what I'm assuming is going to be the pinnacle of current gen PC gaming as far as everything, that's just what I'm assuming anyway. To see what they do that blows Cyberpunk out of the water in, you know, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it may be. Yeah. Well, your Elder Scrolls 6 kind of thing, maybe.
And seeing what like the new Unreal Engine can do with these 3000 series cards.
Big thing, man. It's a big thing. There must be game developers that when those cards were launched, they're like, "What the fuck? Jesus Christ! We just spent 3 years working on this thing."
Like, we're actually gonna have just photorealistic games soon.
Very soon. Like, honestly though, it's crazy.
Within like 5 years.
Absolutely. It's gonna be insane. I'm excited. I wanted to upgrade my PC anyway. I didn't necessarily want to upgrade all these things at once. But you know, if that's what has to happen, then that's what has to happen. Yeah. And we'll go through it. But you know, speaking of consoles, we had the prices released for the Xbox Series X and Series S. The Series S was the leak that kind of
it got leaked, and then Microsoft memed it.
They memed it
like
so
well.
Yeah,
this good on them.
It might be the best price announcement ever because of how they memed it, like how well they handled the leak. They just absolutely knocked it out of the park. I don't think anyone's seen that Series S thing coming.
I mean, it's been rumored. I think everybody knew it was coming. It's like there's been rumors for a while now.
Has there? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess they've done the cheaper console idea in the past, right?
Yeah, like there's a Xbox One S right now. Like there's Xbox One X.
Right.
We have an Xbox One S, and they're following the same same thing.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. So you were saying before we started recording that you're really excited for the S. Like, you think that's kind of going to be the thing, right?
Well, from what I've seen on Twitter, and this is coming from Twitter, so you know, but a lot of people are more. From what I've seen, a lot of people are excited for the S because it's $300.
It is $300,
and it's gonna, you know, it's 1440p, 120 FPS,
right,
with 4K upscaling,
right. Whereas the Series X is trying to do 4K.
Yeah, like it's native 4K 60. Some games up to 120.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
So like the Halo multiplayer is going to be 4K 120. The campaign is going to be 4K 60.
That seems insane. I can't wait to see what that looks like.
The fact that they're going to be pumping with ray tracing as well.
Yeah, no.
That they're pumping that out on a console is pretty nuts. But like, yeah, the S is like, it's just such incredible value for people that don't want to drop $500 on a console and still get
next gen.
Next gen is still going to have the ray tracing. It still has the Zen 2s that the Xbox One X has. It still has the Velocity architecture, just a little bit scaled back.
Right.
So it's still like a hell of a console for $300.
It's a gigantic step forward from the Xbox One X.
Oh, it destroys.
Like, gigantic step forward. And what I was seeing was a lot of people saying that, like, this is, like, the parents who want to buy their kids the next-gen console. Like, this is an amazing, amazing thing. And for, like just the casual gamer or the person that just plays the new NHL title every year, and that's kind of all, or they just play FIFA, that's about it, right? It's the perfect thing for them to have just in their living room. It's small, it's cheap, and it's powerful as all hell. Like, it's amazing. Like, for that kind of thing, they're gonna, if Sony doesn't do a quote unquote budget console, they could lose out on a huge portion of the market, because again, I mean, you're talking 90-something% of all games are going to be cross gen anyway, or cross platform anyway.
Yeah.
So you're only missing out on a couple of exclusives, and if the difference is the Xbox One or Xbox Series S, Jesus, it's so hard to keep track of all this. Xbox Series S at $300, or the only other option if you prefer PlayStation is the PS5 at like $600.
Or whatever the price is going to be. Or they have the digital version.
They do have a digital. So I think the thought is that the digital version will be $50 cheaper than the disc drive version, but the prices aren't announced yet. So I would think that the disc drive version will be the same price as the Series X.
Yeah, I think they're both going to be $499, and then the digital
will be $50 cheaper.
Yeah, 50.
That's kind of my thought. But I don't understand. Like I guess some people still prefer to buy the physical game, but I've never, since I've seen the PS5, I've never once been like, I'm definitely getting the disc drive version. There's zero reason for me to get the disc drive version. I can't imagine why I would ever even consider doing that. Like, I definitely, like, the days of me going to like GameStop and getting a copy of a game are long gone. Like, if I want a game, dude, I'm just going on the PlayStation Store. I'm just going to buy it.
I mean, some people still like having the collection. They like having like the bookshelf full of games.
There's something tangible to it. There's no doubt, but that has to be such a small percentage.
But like the funny thing about that is like the game isn't on the discs anymore.
No,
you plug the disc in and you still have to download the fucking game off the internet.
Yeah, it's
just a bona fide license.
That's right. I mean, that's absolutely true, right? So, like, the only, I just think that Sony has to do, like, I don't think the digital version of the PS5 will be able to combat the Xbox Series S. Like, I think the price gap is still going to be probably about $100 or so. And the difference between $300 and $400, I think, or $450, whatever it may. What is it Canadian? The Xbox Series X is.
It's going to be.
$599?
I believe I saw a $599 and then $399
for the Series S.
Pretty much just add $100.
Yes, that's right. So if the PS5 digital comes out at $549 and the Series S is still $399. Like, that $150 is like a lot of people don't have that extra $150, and if all they want is a next gen console, like Microsoft might be onto something.
Yeah, and then you add like Game Pass in the mix, like the casual gamer is just like frothing at the mouth over the Series S or no, because it has EA Play now with it as well, so.
Yeah.
And it's all access is to 11 countries now.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, you could get away as even a relatively, like, if gaming is one of your hobbies, you could get away with the Series S and just Games Pass fairly well. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going to get every game you want to play, but the Games Pass is such an insanely good deal. Now adding the EA Play thing, like, as we spoke about before we started recording, like, it is, if anyone remembers when Origin had its subscription package or whatever you want to call it, there was Origin Select and there was Origin Premium. Origin Premium is what would got you like the brand new EA Sport games, so your NHL and your FIFA and your Madden, all these kind of things. EA Select would get you like the current year or the year and the previous year's EA Sports titles. So on Games Pass, you're getting the Origin Select titles. So you're not getting, so for example, like Madden 2021 just came out. So you're not getting Madden 2021. You're getting Madden 2020, which is fine. And I'm sure there's very little difference other than roster updates, right? That's basically what a lot of those sports games are most year to year.
Copy, paste.
Exactly.
Change name.
Little tiny feature addition. Change some stats, update the rosters. That's pretty much it. So it's totally fine, unless you have to have and play the newest of the new, which I think a lot of people in the sports game world do. But that being said, to have your Games Pass subscription, and now all of a sudden, if you have a Games Pass subscription, you just got access to like a couple hundred other games. Like we were just looking through the list, and it's like it is all the EA Sports, but it's all the Battlefields, and it's the Mass Effects, and it's your Skate, and it's like
and
Dragon
it's
Age.
important to remember all future first-party Microsoft games.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing, right?
I think that for me, that's the biggest sell.
That is the biggest thing, and that's that was where what we were saying again before we start recording, where that's the only thing that I think Sony has over Microsoft is their first party titles are just like objectively better.
Yeah, they have, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Like especially if Halo isn't insane. Like
if Halo isn't a good game, like we're fucked.
If Halo's not a good game, then there has to be a new IP that comes out that ends up being amazing.
But I feel like Microsoft kind of put a lot of eggs in that Halo basket.
Like
there is a lot.
There is so many. Yeah. So I'm concerned with Microsoft for that specific reason. But that being said, like we just said, most games are cross-platform anyway. So if you're talking third-party next gen, cheaper console, still a powerhouse, Games Pass, all that kind of stuff, you're not gonna go wrong, I don't think, by getting a Series S.
Yeah.
But if you have the extra bucks, or you want the best of the best, you want the 4K, you want all that kind of thing, then the Series X is what you're going to do, of course, and the PS5 is probably what you're going to do. Like that's kind of the way I'm seeing it. But for the a gigantic percentage of console buyers, I think that Series S is just gonna knock it out of the park, right? It's especially at a time like 2020 when people have been cash isn't as free flowing for most people as it may normally be. It's exciting, man. It's really, really, really exciting.
Yeah, and November for the Xboxes.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly. I would be shocked if Sony doesn't do the $50 cheaper on each end, on the digital and the disc drive one, and release a week before.
I think they're gonna have to.
Like pretty much, right?
But like there's already limited quantities for the PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've confirmed.
They're not selling it in stores. Like the first run is only through Sony, and you have to pre-order the pre-order for it.
Right. Yeah, you had to like put in. I was listening.
You had to sign up and then get chosen to be able to pre-order.
Yeah, you had to like sign up and put in your PlayStation ID, and then they're choosing based off of
some royalty.
Yeah, it's like some kind of
just making it even more of an exclusive.
Weird, very strange. I wonder if it's like very, very limited quantities.
Well, yeah, that's what they're saying. This is estimate that I saw. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's gonna be around summer of next year before you start seeing it in like Best Buy and stuff.
Wow.
I don't know if that's right.
Yeah,
that's just what I've heard through the grapevine.
Yeah. That's crazy. Be wrong. That's crazy. I'm curious. I'm very, very. I'm hoping that next week that it gets released and we can kind of just compare apples to apples kind of thing and just see
exactly.
what's what and kind of
like having the Xbox price right now is meaningless. Not having Sony's price.
exactly. Yeah.
You can talk about all you want, but
who the hell knows?
Unless
right?
you can compare it, it really doesn't matter.
No, for sure. There's also Twitch did a thing today. Did you see this about they're having a like some kind of big announcement coming in November? Let me bring it up on my phone real quick so I can, cause I literally just seen it in like in the Uber on the way down here. So it said something like when a what if glitches led to a good thing? And then there's like a little tiny 12-second video that just, I guess, is some mistake with programming. But then there's a date for November 14th, 2020.
Interesting.
So they have some kind of big announcement coming also right around when all these consoles are launching.
Yeah, I think I gotta double check this. I think the Xbox is the 11th.
Right. So it's right in that same time frame. So at the same time, assuming PlayStation is going to be launched and Xbox is going to be launched, and then Twitch is going to be making. I hope that's some kind of big announcement. Like I hope Twitch is really, really changing things.
The 10th, sorry.
The 10th, is it? Okay, yeah. I hope Twitch is really changing things and maybe doing some kind of overhaul or bringing in some kind of really, really sick feature, or they figured out a way to do something that's really, really good.
Or like maybe some really cool console integration since it's 4 days after the release.
Something like that would also make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? But it's something else to be very excited about. And then over the past couple of weeks we've spoken with these other platforms that are launching, and next week we speak with Gamerized, who have another platform that has a pile of good ideas. And I think through thick and thin and through all the horrendous shit that this year has been, there's people that are doing some friggin' really, really cool stuff. And we have a lot of really good games coming out. There's a lot of good hardware coming out, and it looks like if we want to give Twitch the benefit of the doubt, which maybe we shouldn't be, but if we want to, for the sake of this conversation, imagine if they had something that came out as well that also really changed things around. Your clothes is dry.
Usually we wait for the dryer to end before starting the podcast. That's my bad. We're going to have the low rumble of the dryer throughout the whole beginning.
Amazing. Can't wait.
Sorry, everybody. We are a professional studio here.
If nothing else.
Yeah.
If nothing else. And soon enough, you're going to be like the studio is going to be a whole different situation.
True. That's why if you YouTube watchers notice, like, this is not the usual setup. You can see the old set behind us is looking very sad. Mid-move. Maybe a couple weeks we'll have a whole new studio setup. It's going to be cool.
I can't wait. Can't wait for that. Yeah. Brant is moving a lot closer to me. Yeah. Which means
the entire reason of the move is just to get closer to Jeremy. So he's have to Uber down here every Friday.
Hell yeah, dude. But genuinely a lot closer, like to the point where like if I was feeling a little spry, I could even walk there, which like isn't so bad.
It'd be like 15-minute, 20-minute walk.
Probably about a 20-minute walk. Not too bad at all.
I keep forgetting how long Toronto blocks are. It's like, it's only 2 blocks. Yeah. Oh my God, that's 19 and a half miles. What?
The blocks are really, really big. That's true. But that's sick. I can't wait to actually get into that.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit excited to kind of just see, to play around with the whole setup and stuff too, and just kind of be like, can we find some kind of super neat thing in your apartment that's just gonna look really rad.
You know what? Maybe you YouTube watchers, if you have any suggestions of what you want the thing to look like,
we should post we should put set up a couple different ideas and then take pictures of them and then post them.
Ooh, to the Twitter,
Discords or Twitter, and that kind of stuff. And just
speaking of Discord, we actually do have a public Discord now that we've forgotten to talk about at all.
Oh yeah, we do.
Well. Yeah. So I don't know. It's linked below.
Yeah. That's so funny. That's something that we obviously should have probably have been talking about. And we've literally used it for I think when we were doing podcasts digitally. We use the Discord for that, but literally it hasn't been used since. I think there's 3 people in it. It's like me, you, and when we interviewed Chris.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be set up. There's an invite link below for suggestions, and
we should like probably actually set that up to be like an actual landing page for like the podcast and just like things for people to talk about and actually have it look like a real Discord channel.
Okay, we've gotten way off kilter here. The dryer fucked everything up.
I'm definitely blaming it on the dryer and not on our talents to hold conversation. Speaking of Discord, it's so funny. The having Discords, like having a Discord community that's actually active is such a weird thing to watch manifest itself. Like to watch, like if I only stream 3 days a week and only for like 9 to 10 hours in total, to watch people in my Discord become friends and like kind of develop their own inside jokes and their own memes and these kind of things when I'm not live is such like that's obviously the whole point of a community and all that kind of thing, but it's just really neat to see it like kind of manifest itself.
Yeah, I can't relate on the Discord level because my Discord has me and like close friends.
Right. Yeah.
But back in the day when I had my Minecraft server, I had like a forum, like a internet forum. Remember when those were a thing?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But that had like 1,500 active members.
Right.
And like it's just weird to like sit back and watch like people doing things and you're like, oh my God.
Like you can be completely hands off. It's like, this is my
like things are happening in like the community that I fostered and I'm not doing anything. It's just kind of like it gets to a point where it's self-sustaining.
Of course. Yeah. And that's like been a thing that I've noticed where it's like I have my Discords all pretty much always opened like on my second monitor or whatever. So like you usually see, I check it daily and all that kind of stuff just to see what's going on. But like sometimes you just like, you'll wake up next morning, you'll see like 50 missed messages and people having these conversations and like memes are posted and like people are talking about cooking and talking about all kinds of different shit. And
posting pictures of their cat.
Yeah. It's just like, it's really neat to see that. Like, it's almost like, it's like a set it and forget it kind of thing. Like you can almost just like, let it go. And it just like does its thing and just you make sure no one's getting too weird and like as long as that's not happening, then it's just it's really cool. And it's something that's actually like carried over really well into my actual streams. And it's just, people will come in and have these conversations, like kind of picking up a conversation from the Discord in my stream, and it's just like, oh, you guys aren't not even talking to me. Like this has nothing to do with me at all, other than I was just the place where they like met. that's about it.
Fuck, that's one goal for streaming I want to get to, is where like people are just having their own conversations in chat.
Really cool.
Like, yeah, I feel like that's a cool milestone that isn't really talked about.
No, for sure. Well, it is weird because you can. I was playing a game the other day. I started playing Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning, which has been dope. Phenomenal. I mean, the re-release is, did it really need to be re-released? Who knows? But the game itself is just a really, really good RPG. But I was playing that and I was in like a fight with like a boss, and it was like a hard fight. So I was like, I wasn't paying attention to chat at all. And the fight was like a little bit long. So there was like messages going by and I wasn't reading shit. I was just like, I need to beat this thing, especially now because my whole channel has become just like Shady sucks at every single game that he plays. So now I'm like kind of determined to be like, hey, I actually
the truth, just the truth chat right there.
Oh, it is. No, listen, I'm well aware. However, that doesn't mean I'm not going to try to be like, hey, I can actually do something. So I was fighting this mini boss, whatever, and beat it, and then I looked over and I was like one guy had come in and been like, hey, and I was like, oh, hey, dude, what's up? And it was all good. But everything else was just like, they were just people talking about something else that had nothing to do with me. And I'm like, oh, amazing. Like it was so good to just like see people. One is, like you said, it's just really cool to see people have these conversations and just kind of get into, just get to know themselves, get to know each other. And that has nothing really to do with me, but they can just talk about, they find a common interest in a sport or in music or in cooking or whatever it may be. And seeing those conversations happen and just those friendships grow within a community is, like you said, that's like a really good point. That's a huge milestone that does not get talked about.
Yeah,
and it's really cool, like a really cool thing, because you're kind of programmed to, anytime, like in your peripheral vision, if you see the chat thing tick up that someone else chatted, you need to look over and like acknowledge what's going on, because it's 100% is a question to you or something being said to you. And it's just like, when it's not, it's like, holy shit, really cool. It's really cool. So there's another thing to look forward to for 2020. It's building your communities into something friggin' serious.
Yeah. And how do we build a community? We stream nonstop and never make offline content.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. Just stream as much as you possibly can.
Every waking hour that you have, dedicate it to streaming and nothing else.
I think this is going to be a tough month for streamers as well, because I think a lot of, I would say right across the board, but more noticeable when you're a smaller streamer, I suppose, are going to see a dip in viewership because schools are back. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people are going to end up feeling a little bit down on themselves this month, I think, after when the end of the month comes through and numbers across the board are down or something like that.
That's actually a really good point. I think it should, like, if you're a streamer and your numbers have been a little higher than usual, I think you should don't be too hard on yourself if they go down.
No, I think with COVID and then with the summer as well, I think people had, not only did they have free time, because it's like you're out of school and you have the summer to just kind of not really have any responsibility, but for a portion of the summer, you like basically couldn't go outside. So on top of that, people found online content to watch. So a lot of people have got boosted numbers, like myself included, a little bit, right? But now the school is back. Like I get regular viewers I had throughout the whole summer, all of a sudden are like, dude, I got school in the morning. I'm just going to lurk. Like, I'm not going to I can't sit around and check, so I need to kind of, like, get ready for bed and all that kind of shit, which makes perfect sense. And then some other people just aren't going to be around. And just, like, more stuff is opening back up, so people are going to be going back to work more and all that kind of stuff. So I think if this month, if you're seeing a dip in your viewership, then don't necessarily beat yourself up over that, because I think this is a month that things are going to drop just straight across the board with people in school and going back to work. And if you have people in your community that are, especially in like high school or even below that kind of thing, you're like legitimately going to have people's parents who are like, get off the computer now.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually going to be a thing that happens, right? So keep that stuff in mind, and just don't get down on yourself for the numbers kind of dipping off a bit, because it's definitely going to be a thing I would say that everyone is going to notice. But yeah, it's great. I think this year's going to be, I think the rest of this year hopefully is going to be really freaking good, dude. I think there's a lot to be excited about. There was a lot this year where there wasn't much to be excited about, and it kind of seemed like the world was just being eaten from the inside out. And it wasn't great, but I think we might have hopefully broken through to the other side, and then there are some things to look forward to, and hopefully some of these things that do come out, hopefully there's a game that comes out that's just like insane, and these cards come out and they're amazing, and these consoles come out and they're also amazing, and they're not so exclusive that no one can get any, and we can maybe ride out as the weather gets a little bit cooler, maybe we can. We're forced back into our homes because we don't want frostbite. But maybe with that, we have some great new tech to play with, and some new consoles to play, and some new GPUs and computers to build, and communities to build at the same time, and it'll be friggin' awesome. Also, Ninja's back on Twitch.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for coming in and tuning into episode number 25. You guys are great. Next week, we'll be live with the dudes from Gamerize. Make sure you check those guys out as well. Big conversation. It's a really cool thing, honestly. I think you guys are going to enjoy it a lot. They have a pile of amazing ideas and a really neat platform. If you guys did enjoy this episode and you're watching on YouTube, make sure to consider liking and subscribing. If you're listening to the audio versions, whatever platform it may be, consider liking and following the pages.
And join our Discord.
And join the Discord, which is in the link down below.
In the doobly-doo.
right in the doobly-doo. All right, guys, take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye-bye.